Welcome back to another episode of Searching for MacGuffin with your hosts,
George,
Dan.
Gabe,
And Link.
something feels different.
right?
I got a new haircut. Can you hear it?
I don't think that's it.
As a viewer, I feel like I feel something. That's true.
That's true. I am a viewer here in the room with you.
And you can't hear my new hair growing?
Is it like fingernails?
Yeah.
I can hear it. It sounds like Take On Me by Aha. No, I don't know
Were
if
you laughing?
What?
Were you laughing?
Aha!
Oh, I get it.
No.
I'm like, no, George laughed, not him.
There's an intro now. We have an intro. And I paid an Argentinian man overseas to make it for us.
Wow.
Shout out
Fancy.
to
Cantillas from Argentina.
Yeah.
Cantillas.
And I know you're not listening because we see locations.
Yeah, we have no listeners in Argentina, but we do have listeners in 10 countries now.
Hey.
So, a very special shout out to our new listeners in Sweden, Norway, and the Ukraine.
Guten Tag.
That's Speaking of the Ukraine, wow, things how they change quickly. Last month when we were going over the topics, the conflict was escalating and we were reticent to discuss the Russian-Ukraine conflict.
Mm-hmm.
We try not to get political here on the show. Our topics of discussion tend to run a little more recreational.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't sure how everything was going to pan out, and we weren't sure how adjacent the conflict in that region was to our show. But in the past couple of weeks, it's touched almost every facet of everything that we discuss on this show in terms of media.
Yeah.
So focusing on that, what are some of the ways that this conflict has kind of touched upon the different areas of this show's discussions?
I think one of the major ones has been, in relation to like what we talk about on the show is a lot of the media outlets and what's been going on with that.
Yeah. So like the news cycle, first of all, it's been a lot of all over the place. And when we talked about like not being political, it seemed like the initial response was very, regardless of where you fall on the spectrum, like this Russian, this hostile attack was a negative thing, and it was terrible to see that conflict, but it was, in a sense, interesting to see kind of everyone respond unilaterally in support of the Ukraine or Ukraine as a nation, and especially the humanitarian aid. I know a lot of companies, a lot of media outlets, a lot of, whether it be gaming, streaming, are sending a lot of support, humanitarian support, blankets, food, shelter, etc. I know a big one that touched on me is like Fortnite started a new season, which was, ironically war themed, but it kind of like took a Resistance is the name of the new season. I'm not sure that's what the name of the season was going to be before. Yeah. And I know that they're donating all the money that they made those first couple of weeks directly 100% to the Ukraine.
All the profits go to it.
Yeah. Not even all the profits, all the money. Because profits is like the money you make after spending.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like all the money. And they said, did anybody see that number? I think it was like 36 million like the first day, which is like amazing if you think about how much money that game makes. But it's just interesting to see kind of the outpouring of support for Ukraine. And then the other side of it is how media has kind of all jumped together to pull their support from Russia.
From Russia, yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the companies that you've heard kind of get involved with this?
I believe a lot of, well, I'm not too sure on the specifics, but I believe a lot of the newer films that have been coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I I believe some Disney films, and The Batman is another big one. I think those films got pulled from Russia.
Yeah.
Oof.
They weren't showing them there.
I think all the major studios
Yeah.
have pulled, so they're just not getting movies at all.
Yeah, and another, I guess, one thing I guess that I can relate to is the sports. I guess in the sports world,
Yeah.
in the soccer community, the World Cup is at the end of this year, and Russia has been banned, like basically suspended from, because they're in their qualifying stages right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing these matches to be able to enter into the World Cup, and now is when it's being decided who's actually going to be there. And Russia, they have a pretty good squad, and they probably would have qualified, but as what's going on in the world, FIFA, as the governing body, has suspended them, and they won't be able to enter or participate in qualification for it.
Yeah. What else, guys? I don't know if you guys heard about gaming.
Yeah, that's what I
Nintendo
was gonna
Online.
say.
Yeah. Go
A
ahead.
lot of gaming companies. I know Microsoft pulled a lot of support. I don't know if
Yeah.
PlayStation has. They
They
did.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
So PlayStation services, Xbox services, and Nintendo Switch Online all suspended. There is no online play in Russia. There is no downloading of titles, no transactions. All the games that are coming out, for example, Kirby just launched on Nintendo. There's no new purchases there. Basically, they're frozen out. And I know fast food too, which we're going to be talking about, in
I
the
didn't
weeks
know
to
that.
come. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. So it's like the Russian people cannot get online, cannot get like McDonald's pulled all their support, all the McDonald's closed. Burger King was kind of in a bind. I read a little bit about it. I don't know too much, so I don't want to speak to it. But like Burger King's mostly operated by like this Russian oligarch, and he's like, okay, oligarch is obviously an exaggeration, but like this businessman, this tycoon, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna pull support. So Burger King can't pull out. So they're like pulling out all their corporate support, but this guy like basically owns the rights to operate Burger King
Really?
in the country. Yeah.
I did not know that.
So they couldn't suspend. And it's like this geopolitical battleground, this chessboard. And even though, and our hearts go out to, all those suffering, the conflicts and the true devastation and the military action and all of that's going on. But it's interesting, this kind of new information war, this media war, where it's like they're going to freeze out the country by taking away their Netflix.
Yeah, they're gonna cut it off and squeeze them, basically.
Yeah, so it's like the new trade, the digital trade, right? No Netflix, no McDonald's, no Nintendo. Let's see how long. No FIFA soccer. Let's see how long they last.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting and worth talking about, and maybe as things develop, we'll revisit this topic. But I just thought it was interesting that we talk about so much, quote unquote, like useless things, but these things kind of control the happenings of the world around us. And among those topics, like we say, we think that a lot of this is like frivolous, but also people's lives are dedicated to this. And we lost a couple of lives in the world of media this past March. We haven't really reflected on that much on this show. There was a couple of key losses. Does anybody want to share some of those with us?
Yeah, recently, I believe is I'm not sure what day it is, but it was on Saturday or Friday night. We found out that Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters, a drummer, died while on tour in Colombia.
Yeah.
So that was pretty sad because other than Dave Grohl, he is I think the most important. Like those two are like the most important members of the group.
They're basically the face.
The face,
of Foo
exactly.
Fighters.
And it sucks for someone like Dave Grohl, who as a drummer lost his lead singer, and now as a lead singer lost his drummer.
Yeah.
So he's gone through so much.
Yeah.
And I believe he has musician.
A couple of kids too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many kids Taylor Hawkins has, but yeah, it sucks because at least for me, I love the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
I think they're one of my top 5 bands.
Yeah.
And knowing that we lost a great member of
the world
of
lost.
the world.
Yeah.
The world lost. It sucks, man.
Yeah, it's a shame. Anybody have any Foo Fighter memories?
It was actually quite recently. I was just watching some YouTube videos. It was actually involving the Foo Fighters while on tour. It was a concert I think a couple of years ago where basically I don't know if you've seen those videos where people come on stage and like play with the band.
Yeah.
And so Dave Grohl basically like invites one of these guys from the crowd to play drums. And Taylor Hawkins like graciously just like gives him his seat, gives him some sticks, and like no one really knows what's gonna happen, if the guy's good or he's just saying he's like if he can actually play.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy like they start playing one of their songs, and this guy's not missing like any beat, and he's not like hesitant or anything. He's just like he starts playing very confidently. And one of the things that I thought was great was like that's an amazing moment for that guy and for everyone in that crowd, especially his friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you could see like the joy on Taylor Hawkins' face in the video, like he's just so happy. And like I think that's just a testament to the type of person he is. He's just like I think he had a very profound love of music and really enjoyed it. And unfortunately, we lost a good one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've seen like you. I've seen concerts videos of the Foo Fighters in concerts, and they always look like they're always having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins are always happy. Like this is one of the reasons why Dave Grohl is one of the most beloved musicians in the world is because he's awesome. Like he's one of the most wholesome people as well.
Mhm.
People should always gravitate towards him, and seeing that the Foo Fighters lost such a big member of their group, yeah, man,
Yeah.
it feels for them.
Yeah. I remember when Dave first put that band together and they announced Taylor Hawkins,
Mm-hmm.
and I was young, so I was stupid, and I was like, whatever they got from Alanis Morissette's like touring band, that can't be good. I mean, look back at Jagged Little Pill. Anyways, he didn't record on it, but he performed all the songs like
Yeah.
live, and he was in the music videos. And like, I mean, whatever. That album's awesome. Anyways, he was a great drummer even before Foo Fighters. But stepping into those, shoes or picking up those drumsticks when Dave Grohl was like the greatest drummer of all time for Nirvana at that time, in my mind, it was hard. But instantly, like, I fell in love with Foo Fighters with that first album drop. So.
Oh yeah.
So definitely a big loss. The second loss that we had this month that we're focusing on, from the three that we're going to focus on here is William Hurt.
Yeah, that was actually very sad news. I mean, I think I guess for a younger audience, his most famous performances was as Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
From
the Avengers series.
from the MCU.
We can just call the MCU, that's right. I was like the Avengers series.
Is he called
every
Thunderbolt Ross though in the MCU?
I don't know if they ever actually name drop him.
General Ross.
Yeah,
right?
just General Ross.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt's like just his military
name. Yeah.
But yes.
Had he been alive, was he going to play Red Hulk if they ever did?
I don't know if they would have done Red Hulk, to be quite honest, but at this point, who knows? Maybe, probably. I think he would have led the Thunderbolts even if it was just as General Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because he was older.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
But I mean, you could also just CG, Red Hulk, and he could play General Ross, and then he could voice a CG Red Hulk.
I didn't know he was that old. He died when he was 70, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was younger.
He was sick though.
Okay.
And I saw Black Widow again, since ironically just like it was on at a friend's house and I kind of noticed like, oh, he's kind of like frail. Yeah. And maybe I should have known, but he had a long career long before the MCU movies, but I know this generation's really gonna remember his input. The fact that he was in that Hulk movie and then disappeared for like 15 years and then
came back out of nowhere.
And now he's like, he was in a couple of them, all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think they had him roadmapped for an important part of the future, and just kind of like everything in life. Sometimes you just gotta adjust. We mourn our losses, we pick up, and we move forward. I'm sure they'll figure out a plan for all of that, but it's a shame. The MCU's old enough that we're starting to experience these losses as the years go by, and just kind of like readjusting and moving forward.
Do you guys know that Samuel L. Jackson's 70?
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's doing Pulp Fiction too.
Oh yeah?
No, that's
Pulper,
not.
a Pulper Fiction?
Finally, the third loss that we had this month, Scott Hall. Danny, why don't you tell us what you think of the loss of Scott Hall.
Who is Scott Hall, Danny?
Yeah, give our audience just a
I
quick
have no
recap.
idea.
Well, Scott Hall, thank you, Danny, for that poignant in memoriam to a legendary titan of industry. Scott Hall, many people know him as the WWF Intercontinental Champion and Superstar, Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would then go on to go by his real name of Scott Hall when he jumped to World Championship Wrestling in the late 90s and early 2000. But Razor Ramon was like a super iconic character in WWF for me because he was the first like Hispanic icon I had growing up, which is ironic because he was like a big white dude, but he was playing. I don't know if you have a little insight on this, Link, or the Razor Ramon. What was your? I know you're younger, so you kind of like lived this a little bit after the fact, but what do you know about Razor?
What do I know about Razor?
Yeah.
He had a toothpick.
Okay.
He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
My brother liked him.
Okay.
And he was part of NWO. And that's it.
Okay.
I didn't really, yeah. I was an NWO fan, so growing up, I was more, so yeah.
Okay. What about you, Gabe?
To be honest, I think the first like interaction or the thing that I ever saw him was I think some of your old wrestling toys.
Mm-hmm.
And you had like Kevin Nash, you had Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
and there was Scott Hall. And I don't know why, like that toy always stood out to me. Like this guy with like the little like curl down the middle with the long hair in the back.
Yeah.
Chest hair.
The really like the hairy chest, like and the guy like I don't know why like that toy just stood out to me. So he was like one of the wrestlers that I like I guess look forward to like playing with the toy.
Right.
And I think it wasn't until like later that like you go back and look at the careers of these wrestlers, of these athletes, and I believe it was during his Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Yeah.
That like I was like, oh yeah, Scott Hall, I remember him.
Mhm.
Like, and then that's when I started to go back and kind of look. But it was very like I wasn't really into wrestling at the time, but it's
Right.
like, oh, like that's the guy from the toy. Like I just had that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember they would show like highlights, and I think one of the bigger ones was like the ladder match with Shawn Michaels,
Mm-hmm.
which was insane, and I didn't watch it live. I just saw the highlights and stuff. But I feel like he did a lot for like he's such a charismatic performer.
Yeah.
Like he was just his title was like the bad guy. And
Yeah.
I thought he was super cool. Like that's basically what you see. Like you just like look at him, hear him talk for a few seconds. Like that guy's just
Yeah.
he's like,
And that's really that was really cool. Like it was like 95 and there weren't really anti-heroes and he was the bad guy. He was the good guy that called himself the bad guy. And he was big and he had the greasy hair and he had a lowrider. He used to do little vignettes, gold chains, you know, and he was oozing machismo,
yeah.
which is such a funny thing to think about, like as a catchphrase. But it just all came together. He was basically Scarface come to life as a wrestler. And a funny story, like when he pitched that character to Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE now, Vince was blown away because apparently Vince has never seen a movie in his entire life.
Oh, what is this? This is amazing.
Yeah, he's like, well, pal, you got a great idea here. And he was like, so he just basically pitched him Scarface, and he's thought this was the most amazing thing he'd ever heard of in his life. So he like strapped the rocket to Scott Hall, the white guy pretending to be a Cuban. But you know what? It was good enough for me because we didn't have a ton of representation. I didn't know any better either, too, until he went to WCW and his name was Hall. And we had the internet.
As someone from Miami too, like, oh, this guy's from Miami. This is pretty
Yes.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cuban culture, a big part of like growing up in Miami, especially in the 90s.
Yeah, and I think one of those things like when I saw that video of him and like in his Hall of Fame induction,
Yeah.
there was always like this line, like he says this line that was actually really cool. Obviously like he's known as a bad guy.
Yeah.
So he says this line with the toothpick in his mouth and the white suit, and the line goes, "Hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but bad guys do." And like the crowd just like erupts, and it was just I don't know. I thought that was super cool. So hearing about his passing and how that came to be in the past couple of weeks was very sad to hear.
Yeah. And that quote is apropos because his legacy will live on long past his time here. So, speaking of wrestling, there was a big show at the beginning of the month. AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Everyone here listening to us for a couple of months knows we like to stand for All Elite Wrestling. It was a big show. They only have a big show every like 4 months. You know, these pay-per-views, big tickets. And we got to watch, I think, our first one, right? With Dan.
Yeah.
Who-
My first
Dan.
revolution.
Yeah. As a newly converted member of the cult, you know, a little
Whoa,
baby.
Whoa, cool.
Pretty baptism. Okay, maybe not a cult. Maybe
Just took a
just
dark
a sect.
turn.
Or well, have you seen some of the guys on the show? But
That's
what did you think of that experience as a newbie?
No, it was fun. I just didn't expect it to be that long. I was so surprised that it's like almost runs 3 hours, right?
It was like four.
Yeah.
Four? Yeah, it's just
We went what 8 to 12, and the pre-show was 7.
7, yeah.
So
Yeah.
almost
So
5 hours. if you
basically
count.
5, and then like doing
there
the
was, like,
draft and it was fun, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did our fantasy draft after that. So it was a long night. Probably my only critique of the show.
Too long?
Yeah, a bit too long. I could have gone half an hour. An hour less?
They put a lot into it.
They did put a lot into it. You definitely get your money's worth. What were some highlights for you? I love listening to people who like don't know anything going in for the most part.
That was MJF versus CM Punk, right? The
Yeah,
cage
the dog
match?
collar
Or the, Yeah,
match.
dog collar match. Sorry,
Yeah.
I mean-
what was that like?
I wouldn't call that the highlight because, geez, there was a lot of blood.
A bloodbath.
There's a lot
did it
more
take you
blood
back?
than I thought.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Did it take you back? Did you? That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
I
you.
was
More
like,
than you
man,
expected?
yeah, I was really surprised. I was like, geez, a lot
Were
of
you-
blood.
Yeah. Were you also like overwhelmed before even the thumbtacks come out?
Yeah, because I mean, by then they're already gushing out blood, and then he brings out thumbtacks. It's like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
it was a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like a 30-minute match.
Yep.
But the poor referee, that's who I felt the most pain for. These guys were bleeding all over the mat. And then as they're doing the count, the ref just slams his
It's so
hand
gross,
into the thumbtacks.
Mhm.
and blood.
Yeah, definitely a more adult product for a less sophisticated generation. What were you guys' highlights?
For me, Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
I knew coming in, I knew this was gonna be my match of the night. I love both. I love Bryan Danielson, and I think Moxley's one of the best promos, and he's also a great wrestler. And the fact that at the end they were able to, I mean, because I was telling you like, oh, I told you, but long before, like a few weeks before this started, like, oh man, they should create a faction with
Yeah, you did.
with Moxley and Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Utah and Lee Moriarty and who else? Who else did I say? And Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia.
And then that's kind of what we're getting a little bit from some of those
Yeah.
things. So I feel like I should be writing for AEW.
Okay.
And
Tony Khan, if you're listening,
TK.
Check his Reddit.
he
TK.
will leave this show immediately if you offer him a job.
No, they'll take the show on the road.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
That's right. So yeah, so I enjoyed it, and then at the end we got William Regal. So like, oh,
That was
okay,
awesome.
Yeah.
and now
Sir William Regal.
his lord,
His lordship.
his lordship William Regal. So now we have these now we have this awesome faction, like the Blackpool combat team
Violence or
Club,
something?
I think.
club. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go, Blackpool.
Not that.
Uh,
All I,
forgot
know
the
is,
name.
all I know is they just keep
Black
saying
Club of
violence.
yeah,
Violence.
but, there's a tongue twister right there for me. But I'm so excited for this. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, just to add on to that, like the joy in Link's face every time these guys come out, it's honestly really cool to watch.
I'm like a child.
Yeah, literally, because he gets up and then he blocks the TV. Like he goes up and he just starts flexing.
But it's
And I'm
like, how can you be mad? Like he's
No, I'm not.
he's so hyped
Absolutely.
and
So, yeah.
pumped. So it's
Yeah.
like it's really nice to see.
You know, and that's ultimately why we end up talking about this on the show as often as we do. Because for a long part of my life as a wrestling fan, it's kind of something you do in the closet. You know
you
what I
don't tell
mean?
people about
Yeah,
it.
you don't really tell people about it. It's definitely like a third year date confession. But
I'm just picturing it now. Hey, hon, we've been together for a long time, and I think you should know.
I like wrestling.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
I love men fighting in their underwear.
that weekend in April when I drop off the face of the earth, I was at WrestleMania. But it's just like emotional for me now when I see people like Link like rekindling that passion, or like we were watching with a couple of friends, which hasn't happened in a really long time.
Yeah.
Where there's like kind of this infectious or like this uprising, this movement of like new people getting interested and people coming back to it, and like just seeing a new viewer, one of our friends that's like this guy's mine. He saw Luchasaurus, right?
Yeah. I think Danny's a fan of Luchasaurus, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
Danny
I picked
and
him
his,
up in my
brother.
draft.
Danny and his
that's
brother,
right.
yeah.
Oh yeah. His brother's all in.
His brother
So
texts
this-
like, I'm buying this Luchasaurus shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A plethora of Luchasaurus. Which one's the best one? But I just love like when you find that one thing that you gravitate to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
For some, it's a man dressed as a dinosaur. No, he's actually a dinosaur. I'm sorry. It's
A luchador.
a dinosaur.
A luchador dinosaur.
A lucha dinosaur. For another one, it's two gritty guys coming together and putting their differences aside. And for Danny, it's just buckets of blood.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
what
the
he's
best.
into,
It's just
yeah.
a gore fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
It's something for everybody. Pro wrestling is for everyone.
Yeah, and I think going back to that night, one of the cool things I thought that happened was one of the wrestlers. I recently just got back into wrestling. One of the guys that I like in AEW, his name's Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Baby.
Bebe. Yeah, and I think he's awesome. And he had a title match with the reigning champion right now, Hangman Adam Page, which is another incredible wrestler. And he's just they're both really good in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Mm.
The two Adams.
Yeah, there's a battle of Adams.
First Adam, second Adam.
The
And
Adam
so-
Project.
And so
Dang, that would have been a good transition.
dang, Danny cut this. No, but one of the things that I thought was was since Adam Cole is a streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
He goes by Chugs is his streamer name.
Yeah. Shout out Chugs.
Shout out
on
Chugs.
Twitch. He
Shout-
doesn't need our shout outs.
Shout us out, Chugs.
Chugs, can you shout us out?
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's one of the streamers that I frequently watch.
Yeah, he's almost as big as Mario Max.
Yeah, almost Mario
Almost.
Max.
Yeah.
Is there a number?
is it
After-
two X's?
Yeah.
Two X's.
2 X's.
Yeah, okay.
Mario.
And so since he's a big gamer,
Should have been 3 X's for Mario Man.
No.
since he's a big gamer, he came out to with like this costume that was like
His
it's
entrance
familiar.
attire.
It's familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have looked like a little bulky and a little strange because I feel like maybe he didn't fully commit because he has to take it off and wrestle, of course.
Yeah,
but
of course, right.
but he came out in like this like Mjolnir Master Chief armor.
Yeah.
'cause
Spartan
the
armor.
Spartan armor. His favorite franchise and game is Halo.
Oh.
And one of the things that I was like, I respect that. Like he did, like he said it afterwards on his stream. He's like, I did this for you guys, because he kind of likes to keep those things. Like people ask him, he's not going to shy away from it, but he does like to keep those things separately, like
Right.
wrestling and his gaming career.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's definitely a career. I'm sure he makes plenty of
Yeah.
money from it.
And so I thought that was really cool, and it was pretty recent that something of similar nature in the media came out, which was the brand new Halo show.
Yes, this.
And so there was a show, like they did like an after show that we'll talk about the episode now, but
Right.
there wasn't like an after show. And to my surprise, he was in it.
Yeah, you told me about
Wait,
this.
Adam Cole's in it?
Yeah, they're like Adam Cole, baby. He's like, we have a secret. We have a special message from a lifelong fan
Yeah.
and some stuff. And
Yeah,
like
Gabe
that.
told me about this. I hadn't checked it out.
Oh, wait. He's not on the actual show.
No.
No.
Oh.
Oh no, yeah, he's Master Chief. He plays.
I wish.
He's in the
would
suit, but
be
then when he
better.
takes off the helmet, it's
And
probably-
so like he's just talking about his love for the game and all that stuff. So I thought that was really interesting. Like, oh, that's pretty cool, the collab.
yeah.
I
I almost spoiled the show, that after show, because when I pressed play on the show, the Paramount Plus app played the after show, and they were like, "What did you think about it?" I was like, "No, what's happening?" But
You didn't miss much, though.
okay. So
Danny, you kind of grown there.
yeah,
What was that for?
exasperated
Are
society.
we gonna talk about the Halo?
Oh,
Was
Oh,
there
okay.
not enough blood for you,
Episode.
Danny?
yeah. You were like dog collar. Where was it?
Where was that? Yeah.
Yeah, I needed thumbtacks and blood.
Thumbtacks.
Like, where was it?
And someone that doesn't know what that means is kind of just like, what are they talking?
What do you
I mean, episode 1 of Halo is actually surprisingly gory.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
I really
yeah.
thought he was gonna say surprisingly good.
Yeah.
No, no, it was anything but good.
You know, actually, a student came up to me today and they were like, "I
Don't
saw
say it.
Halo episode 1. It was the most gory show I've ever seen."
What?
No, they said the second most gory show, and then I was like, "What's the most gory show?" And they're like, "Oh, I saw Squid Game."
Wait, is there
Huh?
actual gore in the Halo? I haven't seen.
Oh,
the
you
Halo.
haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh, it's
I don't have Paramount Plus.
It's like
what? Oh,
CGI alien brains, right?
it's weird that you would say you don't have Paramount Plus when everyone in this room has Paramount Plus.
Because I'm too lazy to ask Gabriel for the credentials.
No, you made the
We
right
don't do
choice.
that. We don't do that. We don't share credentials.
Oh yeah, we don't share. Shut
Don't
up.
let
Yeah,
Netflix
yeah.
know. Yeah,
You know,
we'll talk about that
Netflix?
later. Yeah, because if they're just gonna assume if you share with one service, you share with the other.
Oh.
But anyway, so
Jeff Bezos shares with me his Netflix account.
wow, Jeff Bezos knows how to share.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a lot of like expectations for the show. I think after Cow Bebop, I was just kind of like,
Bruh.
nah.
Stop doing adaptation.
It broke you.
Yeah, I was just like, let's not. I don't know, man. So then the Halo shows come out. And this thing has been in development for what, years? It was gonna be a movie,
Yeah,
like
two decades
Too
almost.
like
Yeah.
so many people attached to it, then unattached, and so it's like by the time it came out, I was like, I really didn't have any expectations for it.
Especially when they announced Paramount Plus, because I haven't seen one good thing on that. Oh well, I guess you
iCarly.
have.
I haven't seen the new one actually.
I don't think anyone's seen the rebooted
I haven't
iCarly.
watched it either.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
rebooted.
okay.
It's continued.
Sam's not in it, so there's no reason to watch
Yes,
it.
there's
Isn't
no
that
reason to watch. I agree.
Yeah, that's,
Sam
wait,
was the best
what?
part.
I don't
Sam is
even
the
know what
best
that
part.
is. That's
Sam was the best
past
part.
my prime. Yeah, I've never seen an episode of iCarly.
Shout out Janet McCurdy.
I think there's an iCarly song in Rock Band. That's my only exposure.
Holla at your boy, Janet McCurdy.
Is she okay?
Does she act?
I think she retired, but holla at your boy.
Okay.
All right.
Doesn't she do
Um,
stand up now?
No, I don't know what she does, but
wow.
but Janet
Wait.
McCurdy, I won a championship in love for something. recently.
Search
He is the champion of love.
I
Yeah,
am
if you
a
go back
champion
to
of
our
love.
episode, Searching for Love, for our listeners, go back and spoiler, Link wins that episode. It's still, the journey is more about,
The friends
episode's
you
more
make
about the
along
journey.
the way.
exactly.
Exactly.
The
And
real-
Janet McCurdy, you're one of those friends I'm going to make along the way.
Okay. I'm glad that sentence ended
And more.
appropriately.
No,
Wait.
yeah, I don't think we weren't really fans. The ones that have seen it.
Yeah, I didn't
You know
enjoy
what?
it.
I
will say
hated
this.
it.
When I saw it, yeah,
okay.
when I saw the first time, I
Hate's
was
a
like,
strong word. You can use it, but hate's a strong
I'm gonna
word.
When I-
use it here.
Okay.
when I saw it the first time, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was kind of cool. I don't know, like, I feel like quality wise, it isn't good, but there's some things where I'm like, when I played the game, I was like, okay, that's kind of it's cheesy, like the HUD, for example, when they show the HUD,
Oh yeah.
and I was just like, oh,
The what?
it's like I'm playing the video game, like, you know, like his health bar, his shield, and like
Oh,
how
they
much
show
ammo.
that? That's cheesy.
It is
Yeah.
cheesy.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? What's the name of that first person movie? Hunting Henry?
Hardcore Henry.
Oh, Hardcore
Yeah.
Henry.
I wish that's what some people call
What was
me.
that?
What was it?
Yeah.
It was just a first person. It was just a movie that was in the first person.
Oh.
Was it
Motion
like that?
sickness.
It was like
No,
that.
no, the
that
Halo,
shot.
okay.
That shot was
Yeah,
like
the
that.
Halo
Oh, it was
show was
only one
exactly
shot.
like
No,
Hardcore
it's
Henry.
no, it's like you were playing the video game.
But
They
it was only
have,
for one
like,
shot.
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah, it was
shots.
Oh,
the
okay,
whole
okay, that's
thing.
not that bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was for the whole.
The whole
yeah,
show
I was
is
like, oh, this
first
terrible.
person.
Be
What does
garbage. It'd be
What does
worse.
HUD stand for again? Okay.
don't know.
Nah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't ask questions I don't know the answer to.
It's okay. But one of the things I thought was interesting, like they did an interview with Variety, and one of the quotes that the people who created the show were like, "We didn't look at the game. We didn't talk about the game. We talked about the characters and the world."
That's
That's
how you
the
know.
Oh.
That's the
This
thing
looks-
you do not want to hear.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Even
That
if
is, like,
that's
the
what you did,
only thing you don't want to hear.
is that something you want to say out loud?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you say that?
Oh,
So-
I got this. It's the Department of Housing and Urban Development. That's
And you said how many
It's-
scripts did they go through?
Oh yeah, so they went through over 265 script drafts.
And they ended up
for
with
this show.
garbage, bro.
and so
and we only go for like over 2 or 3 for this show.
so what was the budget for this show, by the way?
For our show,
No.
it's about 250.
Now, for our show, it's running on fumes. But
Paramount,
that
give
show,
us the Halo money, Paramount.
Okay.
That show.
10 million per episode.
Wow.
Oh.
Even
That's
the
the
pilot,
part
though?
that broke me. Even the
Because
pilot.
Yeah.
it could be bad. Like it's a pilot. We
So-
don't. It could get better
I-
after.
and I agree with that. That's why I'm going to give them a second chance, but
No.
I don't think I'm going to give them a third chance. No, yeah, because I've seen plenty of shows with terrible pilots that are at least decent. So I don't know. I haven't looked into whether they developed this pilot and then got an order for the rest of the show.
So you're gonna give it 2 episodes and that's it.
I'm gonna
If
subjugate.
it's as
bad.
painful as this
Do we know?
first one.
Do we know how many episodes?
Nine.
this season?
9 episodes.
I'm gonna subjugate my show myself to
should-
the whole season.
Yeah,
and
give
I'll
it a
let
season.
you guys know.
Give it a season. Yeah.
Do I have high hopes? No, but did I have high hopes going in? No.
Listen,
So I don't know.
man.
It's very low risk. Even though I love this franchise, I love these games. In my mind, I was like, this live action adaptation, nah. Like
I've seen better. No?
live action adaptations of like a
Of Halo.
Doom 2004.
Forward Until Dawn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
thought
series that
Forward
came
Until
out,
Dawn
that
was
was great.
better. Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like they did it like on like for network television, like a local channel.
Yes, it looks like. I think I said it. I was.
Yeah,
I was.
you're the one who brought
I
it
was
up.
texting you while I was watching. I was like, "This show looks like CBS made Halo," and then I realized that that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time to invest.
Chuck Lorre made Halo.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Sheldon was in it.
Sheldon was in it.
Yeah, he's Cortana.
Bazinga! I got you, Master Chief.
This is the
So
worst
I
thing
just-
I've ever heard in my life.
That was the worst thing ever.
yeah, I just don't have time to invest into space-faring adventures of this quality when I know something like Obi-Wan Kenobi is on the horizon. And this month, the Kenobi trailer dropped.
I have not seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch trailers.
I haven't seen it either.
Ah,
Are you
deja
guys
vu.
serious?
Yeah.
Your boy don't watch trailers.
That's awesome. I'm really proud of you guys.
Remember we told you we weren't gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you guys.
Oh. So I
here's
guess
what
you guys are
happened.
good.
I've seen memes though, so I feel like I've kind of seen the trailer.
All right, I have seen like images from it, but okay. Then here's your pitch, Dan and Gabe. What in the trailer makes you positive about the show that we're gonna get?
Can I say it, Gabe? Can I say
Are
it?
we still talking about Halo?
No, we've moved
No,
on. to Kenobi.
we're way past. We're
That was
way
such a
past it.
seamless transition that Gabriel did not realize we moved.
Of the quality parts should have been the signal that we've moved on from Halo.
It was It was a terrible joke. I'm sorry that I made it.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah,
Duel
go
of the
then.
Fates.
Ooh, I like
That's it.
that.
That's all I
How
had
did
to
Halo get the rights for that?
say.
A song in a trailer. That's what like convinces you that the show's gonna be good.
I
I
watched
love
the
it.
Hey,
trailer.
a song can do it. For
I
you.
watched that trailer like probably like 7 times.
That's true. You know, they say that a strong theme is a sign of a good show. And when a show finally gets that theme, they deserve all your time and money.
Are you listening, Carnitas? Canitas?
His name is not
What's
Carnitas.
his name?
What are we ordering
Cantillas.
tacos?
Cantillas.
It sounds like Cantim.
He's not
Yeah, I was
listening
thinking that
because
too.
Argentina's not on our region.
Man, if he listens to it, what if we see Argentina
Yeah,
now? That's gonna be great.
if we pop Argentina this month, then we're like, whoops.
I'm gonna message-
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They have like this little intro. But spoilers. I don't know if anyone hasn't seen it. Can I talk about it in front of you guys? I don't.
Oh, the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
go
trailer.
ahead.
I mean,
Yeah.
I already said Duel of the Fates.
Like it just.
I'm going to invent like some version of
Yeah.
it in my mind and then
I mean,
I'm
it just,
sure I'm
it
gonna
just
watch
opens and Obi-Wan's like lurking and he's watching over little Luke and you see like Owen
Oh,
and
like
Beru
in
in the
Rebels.
distance.
I read that comic.
And so, but then like it goes black, and because he starts talking about like how we lost, referring to Order 66, and then it just goes black, and then like like Duel of the Fates just drops, and they tuned it a bit. They did it some differences, but it just I don't know why it was so like impactful, and like I just wasn't expecting it, and it just dropped so hard that I literally like when it dropped, I just yelled. I was working at home and no one was in the house, and I literally just yelled. If someone was walking by my house, they would probably think like,
Call the cops.
yeah, either like I'm being hurt or something.
Arrest this man.
There has been a murder.
But yeah, like I straight up just yelled, and then the rest of the trailer was great. After like the 6th time that I watched it, because I don't remember anything. I just remember like playing it, listening to the music, and just not paying attention to anything else for a
I
while.
fell to my knees in the park when I heard Duel.
What?
of the
Was that a poem?
Yeah, I know, right? Is that a
You
haiku?
talking in riddles? Yeah.
Let me count
No,
those
I'm
syllables.
serious.
I don't.
I was in the park and I just.
Oh,
fell
that
to
wasn't
my knees.
figurative.
No,
was
I
Oh,
was
you
gonna
fell
say
to
it.
your knees when.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard Duel of
Kenobi
the Fates, and
trailer
I was like,
release. I fell on my knees in the park.
Danny.
That's all I have to say.
Producer Danny.
Why does this song like? What does it mean? You think it'll connect to the events or just using
They
it for
did
no
a
reason?
blend. They blended Duel of the Fates with Battle of the Heroes.
Okay,
That was beautiful.
which
Like
is
they did a mashup, the song that Anakin and Obi-Wan fight in.
See, that was about to say
Oh.
because I know that. Yeah, I knew it's not the same song. So I'm like, does this mean we're somehow getting Maul?
Yeah, you think there's any indications of that song seems to be synonymous with him? No?
Yeah, not.
Yeah, I
with
think it's
Obi-
more Obi-Wan and like they just want to drop it. I mean, I know they did it for.
They just knew they would get you.
Yeah, they obviously they worked. They did it for because they did it for Rise of Skywalker.
I was gonna say the
trailer
same thing.
for Rise of
We've been here
Skywalker.
before.
Exactly. They did it for Rise of Skywalker, and I freaked out. I was like, this is back. It was another time when I thought Rise of Skywalker. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna end all this stuff. Whatever. And they dropped Duel of the Fates, and then me and my friend Alec were just like freaking out. And then the disappointment of that movie, but it wasn't
Your mileage may vary.
it wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, so they might not even do it here.
Yeah, what if it's not in this show?
Oh my
No,
goodness!
I
a
don't-
bait and switch.
Nah. I don't think
It's
I
gonna
don't-
be in
I
the
wouldn't be.
show.
Nah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not in there.
What if this show?
I'm just
Yeah,
happy I had it in
yeah.
the trailer. I wasn't expecting it, so it was nice.
That is true.
All
It's
right.
gonna
At least
be
they
in the
got-
show.
I did really like the mashup that they had though with the Battle of the Heroes
All
song.
right.
Do you? Okay. So no. I mean, I haven't watched it. So no Maul at all.
No,
I don't want
think that would
Maul.
work.
Are you sure?
Nah, there was like a rumor that
You
they
can
had
get
Maul.
you can get Maul.
There was a rumor that they had Maul, like they were interested in having Maul. But then I just recently read something where Pablo Hidalgo, an executive at Lucasfilm,
Yeah, that guy.
was like
Not the guy playing Master Chief.
he just basically
He's
like I mean he
broken.
used expletives, but he was just like that never happened.
Okay.
Those rumors are not like substantiated
Okay.
or anything.
All
That
right.
doesn't mean anything. Could be lying.
Yeah, because he's like, sometimes he's really mean on Twitter.
But I mean the only thing I mean people were freaking out, but I think a lot of people were just complaining about
The
how one of the Inquisitors.
The
looked.
Yeah.
Inquisitors.
Did you guys see the pictures? Of
What, the Inquisitors in it? That's such a trailer spoiler. Oh my goodness. No, I'm just kidding. I saw
Oh,
the picture.
no.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
That looks fine.
It
looks
they
good,
did it,
man.
They did it better in the prequels. Why don't they do something like that?
What do you mean?
You
I
see-
think
you
it's.
see-
I
you see
think.
that you see that
The guy from Utapau?
you see the kind. Yeah,
I
that
think it
guy.
looks better than that. What do you mean they did better in the prequels? What did they do better in the prequels?
No, they have someone of that. I don't know what.
I saw the picture.
No,
you're
they
talking about.
don't. They don't have that race.
He's technically yeah. It's one of the guy that like
What?
warns Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Oh, really?
race
They're
it-
like
yeah.
here.
But is that fully CGI? That's not an actor, right? This is
No.
an actor. No,
They're both actors.
they're both actors.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure
got
that was in the-
nothing.
I'm
then.
pretty sure there was some CGI.
I link. You're
involved in
right.
it.
You're right. Obi-Wan's gonna suck.
I think
That's
that
it.
I didn't say it was gonna.
No,
I think-
no.
The actor that they got, I think a lot of people were upset like that they didn't get Jason Isaacs, which I mean,
Really?
he's a actor, so I don't
Okay.
understand why they wouldn't. But I mean, they went with Rupert Friend, which
He's a good.
I think he's a great
like him.
actor. So
Yeah.
he was great in Hitman.
I like them both. If either of you are listening. Well, that's gonna be on Disney Plus soon. But something dropped this month that we already saw, or at least some of us did. I'm not sure who here saw. You guys saw the new Pixar film, Turning Red?
I
haven't.
did.
I did not.
Oh,
It
so
was,
that's.
it was adorable.
You liked it?
I did.
What did you like about it?
What I like about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a affinity for red pandas,
hmm
so I love that.
Just the fact that
I
it was
was
about
like, yeah,
red
it's like,
pandas.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I
It's
enjoyed it. I
better.
thought it was really funny. There's especially the beginning, that opening montage when we were getting introduced to the girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I really
Yeah,
like that.
I really
part.
like that part when she's doing like that French, the pretending to speak French. I'm like, bro, that got me really good. Like I could not stop laughing,
Yeah, you text me. This is the funniest Pixar movie.
and it was because of that scene right there.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to see if that's sustained throughout the film, and I was. I
Do
mean,
you
at
still
least
feel
me.
that way?
I don't know.
Do you agree, George?
I don't, but
I'm trying to think of a funnier Pixar
it's a
movie.
very contemporary film
Yeah.
where I think the humor is like, I finally have aged out. Where I'm like, oh, I guess this is funny for younger people, but I'm 38 now, and I guess right when I hit 38 a couple of weeks ago, it just a light switch clicked, and now
Mm.
now I'm
Dead
almost
inside?
40. Yeah. No, and also they kind of Pixar movies tend to kind of run more mature. You know what I mean? I'm used to that. I think Link said this, like, oh, it's missing that emotional terrorism, right?
Yeah, that emotional terrorism that Pixar
Yeah.
um commits every time.
Yeah. It's a hallmark
It's
of their
yeah.
filmmaking.
But I think it's only certain Pixar directors that can now do that. I don't think it's especially the up and coming directors. They
Yeah.
don't do that.
Okay.
I mean, I also think that movie wasn't directed to any of us four.
That's true. We are not women.
Or red pandas.
That
Or-
is actually-
or- and we're
yeah, yeah.
not
The movie,
You know, I
Canadian
liked-
Chinese from Canada.
I did. Yeah.
but I thought it was funny. I liked
I
it.
did like the demographic that the film
Yeah.
Was Canadian?
was aimed at. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're Asian Canadian,
It's Canada.
and you know it's about girls and their coming of age process. But I also think that there's tons of movies too like that. Maybe not that on the nose, but that I can still relate to, regardless of like whether it's race or geography or
that's fair.
gender.
But
You know
I
what I
just
mean?
don't
Like-
think it has the same emotional weight as other Pixar films.
Yeah,
Like
it
Soul
does not.
Yeah, it
destroyed
doesn't.
me because like I
Yeah, but that's Pete.
had like
Docter.
an existential crisis,
Yeah, I loved Luca, personally.
and Luca was great.
Luca had
Yeah.
more of that. Yeah, and that one's who directed Luca?
And all
I don't think it's. I don't think,
I don't think
it's.
so.
It's one of the original.
Yeah, I
And
think
I'll-
it's one of those up and coming.
And
It's,
all of these
it's the guy
movies-
that did the moon short, the one with the clean Enrico something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that moonshot is good.
Enrico
La Luna?
Casarosa.
Look at that, bro. Look how much I know my Pixar, man.
You really do.
I'm
It's
impressed.
impressive.
I wanted to be an animator.
You want to be a stand-up comedian. You want to be an animator.
Yeah, it's all my life.
You also wanted to be somebody's. You wanted somebody to be your sugar mama, so you could
Jim Gaffigan.
be the stay-at-home comedian.
Oh yeah, he's a dad. Jim Gaffigan's a dad, and Luca.
Man, I did something like to myself when those movies, not when they came out, way after.
Yeah, Gabriel allowed Pixar. Gabriel went into Pixar's headquarters and say, "Hey, I need emotional terrorism right now."
Throw it at me.
Yes.
Like I was visiting.
And John
was
Lasseter
visiting-
was like, "Let me give you a kiss first."
I was visiting Danny.
That was right before.
I was visiting Danny. In the producer studio lounge. Oh,
Yes.
producer studio, I guess.
In his studio
Apartment.
Hey, and so I think I had someone just like, I told them that I hadn't watched, was it Big Hero 6? I think it was Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
just
it
like
started with Big
freaked
Hero
out.
6.
And they're just like, what? And it seemed like they weren't going to be my friend anymore.
Yeah, I
After
mean,
that.
I've
That
seen that
movie's
movie
great.
32
That
times.
movie's great.
And so, and this is years out. This was like maybe a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Because for some reason, I don't know what happened. I think I was just trying to stay away from the emotional terrorism.
Okay.
So, and I've heard a lot about those films, but I heard they're fantastic. So I watched Big Hero 6. Then I was like, all right, let's keep this train rolling. Then I watched Soul, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Coco.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And
watched Soul after that. And then after that, I watched Luca.
Yeah. And
And then after that, I watched Coco.
that was hard,
Wow.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
I have
hurt.
not been able to watch Coco and not cry.
Did you like suffer from a sodium deficiency after that from all the salty
that
tears
tears,
coming
yeah.
out?
So, I think it was either the day of or the day after. I had to do like a drive back home.
Mhm.
It was like 3 hours by myself, no talking or anything.
Oh boy, reminiscing, huh?
That threw my mental state off for like
Mm.
a week and a half.
You started calling up.
It was the day of.
Now, yeah, I had to drive home, and I was just
Dude.
out of it. I was like, I can't do this. But they were such beautiful films. But like, I told Link this, and that's when he
Oh.
coined the term. He was like, "It's emotional terrorism."
I didn't
Yeah.
coin the term. I heard it in
Oh, okay.
in a YouTube video. I'm like,
Wait,
oh
he-
dang it.
That's when Link presented it to me.
Okay, he counterfeit, minted emotional terrorism. It's not the only thing that hit Disney Plus. Turning Red was new, but
A lot of controversy there, but yeah, with Turning Red.
really,
Being
What?
not being in theaters.
No, with the whole I guess women maturing. Like people think, oh, they shouldn't be
Really?
talking about women getting their periods.
That's
Really?
Yeah, a lot
Horrible.
of
I
people.
was really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was like, okay, I don't really care, bro.
it's funny because Link is always telling me a lot of this, and it's like I didn't hear anything, and I'm around adults and I'm around children all day, so I feel like I have a pretty good like sample size of like society. But he's always like, "There's all this controversy. They're all killing each other," and I'm like, I wonder if it's like because I'm not on social media. But what were they saying?
No, yeah, some parents were saying that you shouldn't be talking about a girl getting her period.
Parents from the 1950s?
No,
or-
Apparently there is-
I did see that on Twitter when I was on it.
but that's what the movie's about. It's a coming of age story that every girl's able to relate to.
I
And
mean,
maybe I think their downfall was that they weren't as subtle as
yeah,
Pixar
I
usually
agree.
is.
I agree because I think not because you shouldn't talk about that, but I felt like it narrowed who the film was for in a sense. Because sometimes what Pixar does is like they talk about these themes like through metaphors or just indirectly, and then everyone can like feel the main story, but you can hone in on like
Yeah.
But it was like this was like it was pretty straightforward and
Yeah.
blunt, which is fine. But I guess there's a disconnect for like a lot of audiences, and I guess it is still a touchy subject for some people. I hadn't seen it like that before in a film,
I
so
thought it was funny. I liked it.
yeah. I mean, it was open, but I guess it could be shocking. I guess
Yeah.
for certain people,
In the 1950s.
which is where we live.
So on Disney Plus,
The
you mentioned
Defenders.
earlier,
Yeah.
got some new surprises.
Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, other
The other
other
one.
shows.
That other
Other.
one.
Yeah,
Punisher, right?
Oh, Punisher.
Punisher,
yeah.
yeah, that's not the other one.
That's not the other one.
No, they should have kept Iron Fist in Netflix.
They just
Like, yeah, we don't need that. We don't need this.
They tell Netflix, we have the right to take this back, but you can keep
No,
it.
no, no,
Yeah,
build,
you
build
know-
your catalog, man. You
Build
got
your-
this.
Yeah, yeah.
You need a Marvel show.
We're gonna retcon this.
Now, poor Finn, he did a video like announcing that it was on Disney Plus now.
Who watched that?
The little like Instagram post.
You didn't fast forward to that?
Yeah.
I
follow.
skipped-
Wait.
I
You
pressed-
follow Finn on Instagram?
No,
No,
they did a
Disney-
little
Disney had it.
video
Oh,
that is like, oh, I'm Charlie Cox. Oh, I'm
I'm the worst part of the Defenders.
Kristen Ritter?
Charlie Cox is the worst part of the
No, no, no,
Defenders.
no, no.
Hot,
Hot
take,
take.
by Link.
Yeah.
Save that for our hot take episode
No.
one day.
I would not say that.
Danny clipped
You
that.
just did.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
I was talking
clipping it.
about.
Yeah.
Remember,
put
I
that-
can make you say whatever.
Leone, we
Not
need
if
you
I
to post
curse.
that.
Not if I curse this whole episode. What are you gonna do if I curse, huh?
Whoa, I'm sorry.
Take it out. You can cut it.
We can still clip
I'm sorry.
it.
I'll bleep it, but
That was like a minute ago.
Take Charlie Cox off of my link. Take that out. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm gonna ruin this whole
I'm
show.
gonna
Let's
ruin
go.
this whole
I'm
show.
ready.
I'm
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
he took the
Don't
session
say that.
hostage.
You're the one who said it.
I will slap you.
Okay,
And
you're
ruin your
saying
show.
that Finn Jones was the weakest part.
There you go.
I still think there's a place for him, man. I would rather not recast. Honestly,
I agree.
I would rather like keep the Defenders intact, get a nice script,
I got
get some
you.
good martial arts
I
choreography.
got you. I know how to fix this.
Hit it.
Whatever the next what's the Simlu? What was the Simlu movie?
Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi. Just put him in Shang-Chi.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree.
That's
And
what I
Iron
think they're gonna
introduce
do.
Shang-Chi and Iron Fist.
Iron
yeah.
Fist. That's all you got to do.
Or do a Defenders show.
Defenders
I mean, not a
would-
Defenders show. Do a Heroes for Hire show
and have Shang-Chi
that has
comes
everyone
in
except Daredevil. And Daredevil can like guest on it.
as,
like-
as Matt Murdock.
Yeah, just open Heroes from Hire out of that Jessica Jones office. You good, you know?
Oh man,
It's
there's
just-
only one good part about Iron Fist.
Colleen.
Colleen.
Colleen's great.
Colleen.
But that's the thing. Colleen and Misty are a big part of Heroes for Hire. So make them main cast, you know?
Yeah.
Luke, Colleen, Misty, Danny,
Which
and
Me.
Jessica.
Which I mean, I
Yes.
can kind of.
And you? Oh, Danny.
You know
the
what?
producer.
Dan, the producer, would be a better.
You think they would notice if we swap Dan, the producer, with Finn?
They'd
Jones?
be like, "Wow, this acting is amazing."
I appreciate that, and I think you're right. So let's make it happen.
Hey, you're amazing.
It's just nice to have it all together on Disney now. Back
Yeah,
in the
Does
fold.
that make it canon?
It does make it.
it
canon.
does.
Absolutely.
Now, if they do produce more of these shows, of course, we want season 4 of Daredevil.
Oh yeah,
You know,
or a movie.
or okay, whoa, you're getting me
you got
there.
too excited.
You got heart palpitations.
Would it be as mature as the Netflix stuff, or would you think they'd? notch it
I
down.
say
Oh,
we'll
they're
find
gonna-
out after Moon.
I think
Knight.
we'll see soon. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see soon.
I think when we see Moon Knight, which we talked about last month on
Oh,
the
we
month,
excited about
monthly, or
Moon
was that
Knight.
January? I think January when it dropped. Just go back and
One
listen
of
to
the
both
monthly-
of the monthlies.
yeah, they're both
Just
great.
go listen. Yeah, the
Shameless
monthly's a
plug.
great series.
One of the things I do like that Colleen did, that they were interested in she was they were interested in auditioning her for Shang-Chi's sister.
Yeah,
And
Oh, she said no.
she was like, no, like just in case, like there's a future for
Yeah.
Colleen.
I think they should reward her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
agree.
should make her Iron Fist.
I thought that was really cool.
I think they did make her Iron Fist. You never even saw the season.
Oh,
the
there's
last
this.
season.
I've not.
Yeah,
seen
they did
season-
make her Iron Fist. That
Wait,
already
what?
happened. Yeah, sorry. You should.
Spoilers.
That's probably the
No.
best season.
What happened to Danny?
Spoilers for a show that already got canceled and switched streaming services 3
So
years
I
later.
only watched these shows with
Spoilers.
Gabriel, but after I graduated,
Yeah.
first of all, I didn't like the first season.
No, the first season.
But
was
after I
perfect.
graduated, I'm like, oh, there's no reason. The only show
Yeah.
I watched outside with Gabriel that
Yeah.
was Daredevil season
Yeah.
3.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I can't watch
After
it.
Defenders and they all crossed over, there's no reason to
Yeah,
keep
there
up with
wasn't
them.
like, because there's not a joke to be made, because it's like I watched these shows with Link, and it was like we're either laughing, like either the show's great and we're having a great time, or it's bad and we're just like laughing and suffering together
and
Yeah.
eating Thai food.
and eating Thai chili, which
Thai
is
chili.
shout out Thai chili.
Oh, shout out Dose Bros.
Yeah, by popular request.
Ah,
Those Bros, if you are in the Tennessee area,
Tennessee, Chattanooga area, Dose Bros.
I still haven't eaten there. I have to try it.
it's good. It's great.
Yeah.
I like
Next
it.
time I see
Gabriel
myself.
vouches.
It's good.
I trust Gabriel, so
There's the heated debate between Those Bros and Chipotle, but that's for another time. It's just nice having all of these like shows together.
Yeah.
I think it's
history of Marvel, good and bad.
I think it's so great, and
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
yeah, like having all of it there and then
Like
being able to choose.
fantastic 4 with the 4 and the A.
Are you like making up a password right now? Like, are you?
Hey, don't say that out loud.
hey.
Why? It's not like we have a problem sharing passwords.
Yeah, anybody use fantastic with the 4 and the A to access all my streaming services.
exclamation mark at the end.
Man, I gotta.
But
change
there's
my
actually what was that, Danny?
password. I gotta change my password.
Yeah, it seems a lot of people are gonna have to be doing that. Maybe coming
Maybe
soon.
possibly.
One of the streaming giants is testing the waters of a new I don't want to say tier, but kind of like a shift in their platform. And I think we're pretty far off that. I think it's a pretty well-known fact that a lot of people share accounts
Yeah.
for Netflix. One account, multiple households, multiple people.
Yeah.
And so Netflix has been testing what it would be like charging to be able to share these accounts.
I think you broke the news of this to me a while ago, and I was like, nah, that's not possible, bro. You know what you're talking about. And then I started reading up on it, and I've literally brought it up to every single person that will hear me, like in my life. Like, I'll be at church, I'll be at school, I'll be at work, I'll be in my house, and like my wife will be like, we can stop talking about this already.
My wife.
This password sharing thing is such a, like, it grinds my gears so much.
It's crazy.
I don't know how it works.
What? This is crazy.
Beautiful.
How would this work? How were you gonna charge people for sharing their password?
Isn't it? What's that word? What's that?
IP based,
IP. Yeah.
IP tracking. Explain to me.
which means you
No,
might not.
No,
be
I'm gonna
able to
flip
use
it
a
on you.
VPN anymore.
Explain to me,
Yeah,
George,
you explain to
how
me.
that works.
How it would work is they would track your location based on the IP address on your device. But my question to you is, I like to watch my Netflix in the waiting room of my doctor's appointments. I like to watch it at work and at home. Danny, you're off studying university. You live with your parents, but spend a large portion of your time away in a different geographical location. You've got children who have accounts and live with 2 separate parents.
I have children.
You have, no, not you. I've moved on from you.
Oh.
The you understood in this sentence, directional. Parents who, split homes, 2 parents, 2, split custody. You have traveling people who work, like live in 1 state, live in 2 states. Like my parents have 2 homes. They alternate between, two different households in different states. You have people who work in different areas. So what's the deal? How are they going to know when you're at home and where you're not? What is the legitimate use of your Netflix and what isn't?
I think it would be similar to the way YouTube TV does it.
Which is what?
So smaller devices like phones and I think laptops. I know definitely
tablets?
phones and tablets. They don't
They
matter.
don't count.
They don't
Yeah.
count. But
Yeah.
as soon as you put it on like a home console or a TV, then it.
But I have a home console on my TV, and I have a set-top box in the vacation home, my parents' vacation
What
home.
about
looks
a
like
Switch?
What?
What about a Switch?
A
It's
Nintendo
not
Switch
even- it's
counts
not
as a
on there.
mobile. Well, Netflix isn't even on it, but for the intents purposes of this conversation,
Netflix isn't on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
What?
And I
This is crazy.
Are
It's
you
the only
serious?
device in the world.
why did I buy a Switch, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I will buy it from you if you don't want
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I'll
I,
take
I
it.
got this. I got this.
No, I'll overbid him.
I actually ended up buying it for $700. So
Yeah, you can enjoy it.
Did you really get it for $700?
no, I was just trying to upcharge
Oh.
you.
Do you think that the market is here? Do you think this is too bold of a move? Do you think Netflix has the customer loyalty to
No.
push forward?
Yes
I
and
want
no.
to say yes
Okay.
and no in the sense that if you do that, okay.
It's not us.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh yeah, like we'll leave. Like first of all, you're not even producing good content. You should be producing a lot of content.
I heard this a lot
You
from
see-
people I've talked to.
I feel like Netflix has become like cable television.
The all-you-can-eat buffet.
It's
Oh.
like cable television now,
What am I
like-
gonna do about New Girl?
Like it's like what you put on, like what you put on the TV. Like you're just channel surfing.
Yeah.
You're like kind of switching through programs.
Mhm.
But it's like, let's be honest. There's like 12 other like streaming sites that I can focus my time to. If
yeah, you don't have The Office anymore.
Yeah,
It would actually benefit me more to cancel it because then I can focus on all these other services. So honestly, like I'm down.
Yeah.
Like go for it.
I'll convince
I'll
my
cancel.
father, who I totally do not use his account, to cancel just out of the principle of it.
hypothetically speaking, you would.
Yeah,
right?
hypothetically, if I was
And then
sharing,
and then have him pay for another account. Just hypothetically.
it's just it's gotten so expensive too. My father's complained about how expensive it is, but he won't cancel. I just feel like a little
When was that?
push,
When was
and
that?
he'll go over the edge.
When was that?
Bro, that was
What are
like
you talking about? Netflix, right?
yeah, Netflix.
Okay.
That was like around the like $13, $14 mark. I think they're up to like 18 now or something.
Yeah, that was
like
like a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I forgot about Netflix.
yeah. So
Can I use his profile then?
no, we don't do that.
No, yeah, we don't. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, you may.
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Like we were talking about, like, bringing out a lot of content. One of the crazy things I think that they had was they stated that they were gonna have like a drop every week, like they were gonna release a movie every week.
Yeah.
And one of the big ones that I remember in that trailer commercial that they had, was this film called The Adam Project.
Come on, man.
starring-
Oh, that was that commercial where like all the main characters talk to me directly, right?
Yeah.
That was
So
weird.
that was I thought it was interesting.
Interesting's a word.
It is a word. And so, yeah, it's Ryan Reynolds, and I mean Ryan Reynolds. I feel like is just Ryan Reynolds and everything he is and everything he does.
Yeah.
And who else is in it? Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, I love Elektra.
What I said. But yeah, it's a movie about time travel.
Yeah.
But I think the standout was the young actor in the film, which I think did a really good job.
Oh yeah, I heard.
I think he did
Adam?
awesome.
Is his name Adam?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both named Adam.
they're both out.
Really?
Oh, aren't they? Oh, isn't he the same person?
Adam
Yeah.
Cole
Like-
and Adam Page.
Like a younger like he's
The
Yeah,
future-
spoiler
second
alert.
Adam.
Time
Future-
travel.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't
Oh.
have to. What?
He
They
didn't-
said it in the
Nah, you
trailer,
really
no?
know. Like once, like you see the kid acting, and it's like, oh, this is like a little Ryan Reynolds. Okay, got it. And so yeah, I
Wait.
watched this with Danny,
Yeah.
Was it good?
and
Was it good?
I don't think we were very impressed.
I
With
fell
that being
asleep.
said, you could say, "Oh, you did you?"
Yeah.
With that being said,
Did he say he fell asleep? He fell asleep.
yeah, he said he fell asleep.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you were in the
You
hammock.
fell asleep.
Yeah. Danny was outside in a hammock chilling, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna watch it."
My question to you is, with all what you said that this kid was great, is it even worth my time to watch it?
No.
No.
Okay.
And there he goes. That's why people are ready to leave Netflix.
I think it has some interesting like action sequence, like nice
Mhm.
action sequences, but it's not enough for me to be like, I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
Some people may enjoy it. I just wasn't one of them.
Okay. So the Adam Project. Watch it if you like, because you already paid for
I
it.
mean, if you like Ryan Reynolds,
If you liked Red Notice,
yeah, go watch it. Yeah.
I'm weary to tell you to stop listening to the show, but if you liked Red Notice, to each his own.
I
Watch
was like,
the Adam
Red Note.
Project.
Why would you? Why would you say
Because
that?
if you like Ryan Reynolds movies on Netflix, sure. I'm not gonna waste my time watching it on Netflix because I'm just counting down the days where I get to watch The Batman on HBO Max.
Which is, I think, dropping April 19th. if I'm not
April
mistaken.
19th.
Right there.
Can I go into a cryo sleep so I can just?
No, but one of the things you can do is watch the movie and then surmise at some point in the film where you can add in this bonus scene that got dropped earlier this week.
That was a
seen it.
great transition. I had no
Really?
idea what
Really?
transition-
You
Yeah.
Wow. And so they dropped a bonus scene with a certain character that was at the end of the film. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. If you haven't
If
seen
you
it.
haven't seen it, go
Go.
back, watch the movie, and then go back to The Batman,
there
our
it is.
most successful episode to date. Thank you, all of our listeners and viewers, for link.
We love
Avengers
you.
and Vengeance.
So go do that, and then
And then you can watch this clip. I believe it's a 5-minute clip.
yeah,
We kind of had heard that it was going to be releasing at some point.
but it was fast though.
yeah.
Movie's not even out of theaters.
Yeah. The director, which his name escapes me.
Matt Reeves.
Matt
Reeves did he's been doing a bunch of interviews and podcasts, and
He's been doing like deep dives on this movie, and it's still in theaters. It's
Yeah.
Should
I
we
think it's
invite him on?
unprecedented. Sure, Matt Reeves, please come on our show.
please.
Yeah, we
please.
have
Please.
Tarantino has been on the show, so.
No, he couldn't make it.
No,
Oh,
he
that's
canceled.
right.
He
Leo
rescheduled.
rescheduled, yeah. And Tarantino.
Table reads
Um,
later.
So yeah, he dropped the scene with the Joker, which I thought was great.
I wonder
did
if
you
this
guys
is.
think?
I wonder if this is a new trend where we get like bonus footage before the movie's even out.
See,
Uh-huh.
I think Matt
That's
Reeves.
a good marketing strategy.
Matt Reeves does that a lot. Like his
Really?
his Vimeo page. I know that he does like he dropped behind the scenes stuff while they were actually shooting. Like like he would show his takes.
Yeah,
I know he dropped that funeral scene on his Vimeo. There was a couple of things that like it's just like a nice perspective, and it's different, and I think it's cool that directors do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the scene that they dropped, I think added a bit more context to another scene in the film.
agreed.
So
I think it made it better.
yeah, I agree.
I think, and without spoiling, you guys know what we're talking about. But if that scene would have been in the movie, I think it would have made the ending of the film even stronger.
Yeah.
I personally loved the scene. Link hasn't seen it. Some of our listeners may not have seen it. The movie. Well, Link saw the movie, but not the scene. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought if there's an extended cut somewhere out in the world, I'd watch it. The film is great, but this scene, it sold me on something that I wasn't even really sure about in the final product of the movie.
Yeah, it was like the one like maybe like questionable thing I think we had in the film
Yeah.
out of all of it, but I feel like it fixed it.
Yeah, I think so too. So if you haven't seen it, if you didn't know that scene's out there, go out, find it, watch it, and then let us know on social media what you think. Go to Link and tell him what happens in the scene.
Yeah. Describe it word for word.
Yeah.
Telecast it for me.
Okay. Another thing that you guys have spent some time this month is some anime you guys watch. I haven't had time to. I keep saying I'm going to catch up on anime, but I just keep watching all these movies. What have you been watching?
So this month or coming in April, there is one of the most popular animes in our time is ending, and that is Attack on Titan. I believe Danny, correct me here, or maybe no. Danny hasn't even been keeping up, so you don't even have to correct me. But next week on Sunday, I think is the last episode of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I heard something. It might be like a 40-minute episode instead of 20.
You know
But
what?
yeah, it's an end
I'll
of an
catch
era.
up on it before then. You wanna
It's
watch
an end
it
of an
together?
era.
We should
Sure.
watch it together.
I mean, how? Like
I could be here. No?
FaceTime?
I'm gonna be there.
Oh, okay, cool. So the end of an era, Attack on Titan is ending. It's one of the
You can share your screen on Teams.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite animes. The ending might be, interesting. Let's see what they do. But yeah, sad.
I gotta catch up on this. I'm like in the middle of last season or something. So This will be the next thing I watch. I got a detox after this.
These episodes drop on Monday.
Sundays.
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 Yeah.
That's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Sundays, yeah. And then, yeah, watch it. Mikasa was amazing in the last episode. Oh, chef's kiss.
I've got to watch it.
Got it. This is why I'm naming my daughter Mikasa Ackerman.
Okay.
And after you watch Attack on Titan, if you have a chance, check out Jujutsu Kaisen. And if you've watched
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, check out the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. What's it called? I don't know.
Zero.
Volume
Oh,
0. And even if you
Volume
haven't
0.
watched it, go watch the movie because it's a
Yeah, I
prequel.
heard it's a prequel, so you can watch
Yeah.
it before. Warning: there is a talking panda. That's all you need to know. That's what someone told me.
Panda's not a panda.
Panda's not a panda.
Panda's
Panda's
not
not
a
a
panda.
panda.
Yeah.
Panda's not a panda.
I'm not gonna understand the movie.
But yes, check it out. We watched it together. It was a beautiful
It was
girl
great.
moment.
It was a great movie, man.
Because right afterwards we went and we had a Japanese barbecue.
You know what I heard was even more beautiful? The second time you guys all went together.
I got kidnapped, so I wasn't able to watch it.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't respond to any
That
of the text
was
messages.
No, you did respond.
Yeah.
Oh, you
What did he respond?
So me and Dan and
And Leanne.
and Leanne and another friend of ours, George, shout out George. We went to go watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it was George and Leanne's first time watching it, and me and Danny's second time. And so Link was supposed to come. I believe with somebody else. I don't know.
No, yeah.
And so
they canceled on me.
Gotcha. And so, yeah, like the whole time I'm just like kind of anxious because the movie is like starting, and I'm like looking every time someone walks in.
Man,
Like,
you ruined
every
the
ti-
second viewing for me.
Yeah, every time someone walks in, it's like I'm thinking it's Link, I'm thinking it's Link, I'm thinking it's Link, and it's not like. And these people don't even look remotely like Link. And then but they're all wearing caps. They're all wearing hats.
They're all wearing
In the
hats.
middle of the night.
So I'm just like, what's going on? Like everyone just wearing a hat today. And then, but I text Link. I was like, hey, are you still coming? And he texts me and Danny separately on my way. So the entire
the movie was 40 minutes.
Yeah,
in, and
like
he
40
said,
minutes
on
in.
my way. I'm like,
And I'm still looking, waiting for Link, and I'm just like halfway through. I'm just like, because there was like a little hint when he said on my way, and I'm like, and he said the same thing to me and Danny. I'm like, is he actually? I don't think he's gonna come. But I was like, I held out hope, and my hope was not rewarded.
You know, sometimes that's all we have.
Yep. Yeah, I was
That hurt.
disappointed, but
I'm sorry, guys.
the movie was great. The movie for
movie-
second time.
The movie.
I gotta
was
watch it
great.
a third.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna go watch it in theaters because I'm afraid that Link won't show up.
He
My
won't.
problem was that I was at someone's house and there was a lot of people blocking me, and I got
Like physically?
no blocking my car to leave.
They're just
And I
body
got, like,
blocking.
I was too anxious. I was too anxious to ask him, "Hey,
It's just
can,
2-on-1 man coverage.
there's like 2 cars blocking me." I'm like, "Hey, can you move your car?" And then after
Was this
he
after
moved,
you said on my way?
Yeah,
so Yeah,
why'd
yeah,
you
or
type
was like,
on my
or
way?
you just being cruel?
That's a
I was being
Miami.
cruel. I was being cruel.
I feel you.
That's
That's a
mean,
my
man.
yeah, man. That's a Miami on my way. That's a like on my way is I'm thinking about getting
No,
up.
no.
now.
What's the other one? I'm at the light.
Yeah.
Or-
and then it's just traffic. You just blame traffic every time.
But yeah, that the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. If you haven't seen the anime, watch it or the prequel. I highly recommend it. It got me to start reading the manga. And I've blown by it. It's been a fantastic read, and I love the story where it's going. And yeah, I actually was able to free up some time now that the Oscars are over.
Yeah. That's funny actually. We talked last month about not doing a monthly. We got some feedback, fans of the monthly. We decided to include our Oscar conversation in this month's monthly, but we're running out of time. So really quick, what was your response? We delayed this episode a day. It's coming out a day late because we went to sleep past midnight watching the Oscars.
I was asleep
What was your-
by 11. So
What was your quick response to last night's festivities or 2 nights ago when this is out?
They need to start earlier.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I went to the bathroom at a certain point, and apparently I missed something important. I don't know. I think we all went to the bathroom at the same
Yeah,
time.
we took a bathroom break.
together. Yeah, we saw. Oh, Chris Rock's coming up. Let's use his time to go pee.
Yeah, not which is
Not together, but
yeah,
you know, 'cause
we went to different.
George has
restrooms.
3 bathrooms. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. All that podcast money is paying off.
So yeah, and we didn't. I don't think we missed anything important, right?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
And
And
it was
because-
Now they gave documentary award, I think.
Yeah. Quest Love one.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
boy.
Yeah, I haven't seen Summer of Soul, so
Yeah.
That's this
Congrats.
week.
though.
yeah, congratulations.
But we didn't miss anything.
have you guys
important.
seen
didn't?
Bel Air?
Nah, I don't care about that.
Well, I'm supposed to do a podcast on Bel Air, following it week to week. I have to get back to the guy who invited me to do the show with him. Why? Why'd you bring up Bel Air randomly?
Oh, I think just a lot of Will Smith news lately. Not sure
Bro,
why.
you want to be the craziest thing
Yeah,
that
what?
I saw last night?
What was it?
Like, it was the most absolute. Like, I fell to my knees and I was like hitting the
Fell to
ground.
your knees in the park.
So for some reason,
What a
yeah,
good
that's
callback.
basically what it felt like. And so they pretty much had like this new category
No, it's not a category.
or this new like
Oh yeah, it was
thing
terrible.
they presented.
Yeah. I think they wanted to do a popular film category,
Yeah.
and the whole universe was like, no. So then they just took a poll online.
Yeah, I don't know. The poll was like the most cheered moment.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was terrible.
And so I believe like 5 was like in history. It's not just recent.
Yeah,
It's in movie
yeah,
history.
so
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 was Neo.
5 was Neo, 4 was
Bullet
Dreamgirls.
Time.
Dreamgirls.
Bullet Time, a song in Dreamgirls.
This is where I knew something was up because number 3 was Avengers Assemble from Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Yeah,
Probably one of the most epic moments that I've
Yeah.
ever seen on the screen. And,
Yeah. I think we
one
talked
of-
about it for an hour in the Marvel
yeah, and one
Movie
of the
Method.
most cheered moments. Go watch Marvel Movie Method.
Part
the whole
3.
month.
Part 1,
And,
2, and 3.
Yeah, all of them.
And so I was like, that's number 3. I was like, okay, surely the next one has to be. I mean, not the next one. The first number 1 has to be Spider-Man. So we'll see what number 2 is.
I thought it was
Number 2 was 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Spoilers, there's 3 Spider-Men and No Way Home.
Surprise. And that's when I was like,
Aunt May dies.
what? that for me was like,
Whoa.
what
spoiler.
was number 1? What in the world is number 1? And I don't think any of us like had guessed it or surmised. Did you guys before they announced it?
No.
No.
So we were all like super curious as to what is happening right now.
I thought it was gonna be like Dark Knight related, something like that.
But I was like, these are probably like in my
You
recent
were
memory, 2 of the
close.
most cheered like
Quality movie.
moments in film.
What would it have been if it was a Dark Knight related moment?
Bane destroying
whole-
the city.
The whole movie.
They just play the whole movie.
yeah.
That's why they ended past midnight.
And then to my horror, to my dismay, to what I saw as number 1 was The Flash turning back time in Zack Snyder's
Run, Barry.
Justice League.
You can do it.
Was that your voice?
Yeah, I know. Did you use a
It
voice
wasn't-
modulator?
It wasn't
No,
even. It
that-
wasn't
that
even
was
like
my imitation.
like the
of Ezra
Quicksilver
Miller.
scene in the X-Men movies is better.
Yeah.
I thought that part was
I was about to
cool, and then he starts talking during it,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, you ruined it for me.
Yeah,
I'm not-
I think we dedicated 15 minutes to that and
Yeah.
into the Snyderverse episode.
Lots of callbacks today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just super angry, and yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I loved the winners, most of them. There was one that I was like,
Dune swept technical awards.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Yay.
but they still
Coda,
robbed the knee.
Best Picture.
Yay.
Denzel Washington won for Shakespeare's King Richard. Yeah, that's what happened. Definitely what
Oh.
happened.
Yep.
Don't fact check that.
Yep.
Yep.
So
that happened.
So I think
they ruined We Don't Talk About Bruno. That was excellent.
I think that covers the Oscars, right?
Thanks to Something the Horse.
They were trying to make it shorter than last year, and yet somehow they were longer than
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, I don't
I
understand.
wonder why.
Because they have no sense of control. Like they're
I just don't understand. Like, it's not like there was like any like controversy or anything going on. Like, I don't understand why.
I love the
No
Academy. I hate
drama
the
at all,
Oscars.
right?
That's my review.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. No drama at all.
No
though,
drama
least.
at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, it was. We got to focus on
Pretty
the
peaceful.
stars
Pretty
and,
peaceful. Yeah.
and the artists and their
It
achievements.
was a night to recognize like these filmmakers and everything they
family,
do, right?
You
That-
know,
I mean,
yeah.
protecting
Nothing else.
family,
Yeah.
protecting
That's it.
family, loving family.
I think the Oscars is a vessel of love.
Yeah. I agree with you, Dan. I couldn't agree more.
It's like
Speaking of sharing the love, why don't we give out, as we are wont to do in these monthlies, our recommendations? So what did you guys watch, see, hear, taste? What would you recommend? We haven't done a food recommendation, but what would you recommend to our listeners and or viewers?
Yes. So for me, my recommendation of the month is Crashing on HBO Max. It's a show about a comedian, Pete Holmes, and his, I guess, rise in comedy. It's great. We watched it. Me, Danny, and Gabe watched together, and it was awesome. That's my recommendation. Go watch it.
What is it? It's like a stand-up or?
That's just his life.
Is it like it's
He's a stand-up comedian, and he just has a sequence of horrible events happen to
So is
him.
it like a sitcom or a docu or what?
It's just it's a show.
It's scripted.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
scripted,
Oh, okay.
but it's based on his loosely
It's
based
live.
on
He's
his life.
on his life. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, Crashing on HBO. Excellent. I got when I wasn't watching an Oscar movie, Abbott Elementary on ABC/Hulu. I watched it on Hulu. I heard it just came back from a break, but it's like just a few episodes, half-hour episodes. So funny. I haven't seen a show this funny and relevant since like Modern Family, in that Office style,
Mhm.
Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And it's set in a school. Obviously, I can relate, but it's also, I think, enlightening. It has something to say. Definitely recommend Abbott Elementary. And then if you haven't seen Miss Maisel, we're in season 4. It just dropped. I saw it all in one night. The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Amazon Prime.
My recommendation comes from Paramount Plus. It's called Halo. It's a great episode.
Okay.
No, but seriously,
slap you.
funny enough, one of the shows that Netflix had me with was The Last Kingdom. I think it just finished. It was just season 5, and they're gonna have a movie afterwards. And yeah, they just wrapped it up. It had been since like 2015, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those shows, like one of those Netflix shows that I had been with for a while. And I think it ended well, and I'm interested to see where they're gonna end it, how they're gonna end it with the movie. So
What about you, Dan?
This month I rewatched Atlanta in preparation for the new season.
nice.
And honestly,
Oh.
if you've managed to not watch Atlanta for the past few years, please go watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, so good.
When does the new season drop?
It's already out.
2 days ago. I think 2
What?
days ago? 3 days ago?
I think they have 2 episodes.
No,
out.
like last week.
Last week?
Oh yeah, you're right. It's
2 episodes are out.
Dude,
The third is
2
gonna
episodes are out.
be
All
released.
2 dropped
Yeah.
right away?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So it's
And
easy
it
to
was
catch up.
amazing.
I mean, that show's amazing.
So those are our recommendations for the month. But before we end, we want to share with you guys something special on social media. We have on our Instagram, S4M Podcast. We're gonna be having some polls. We're gonna be asking questions there, a little bit more interactive for you guys to interact with us and let us know a little bit about yourself and what you like. These monthlies are a good way for us to talk about things other than specific topics that we have. And if there is one topic that you want us to talk about, let us know on our Instagram. We'll be having questions there. We'll be posting questions like, what do you want us to talk about? And whatever you want us to talk about, let us know. Put it there, and we will talk about it. We're all well versed in different areas of media, so I believe we can do a great job in that. And we also want to know what you guys think. Sometimes we're a people's podcast, so we don't want to forget the people sometimes.
Yeah, and we will do our very best to keep it under 2 hours. No promises. All right. So I guess that's all for this month. We'll see you again next month. Dan, you wanna throw us out here?
I'm throwing us out.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot right now. Maybe you want to hit a button or something? Maybe play some music?
Or maybe you want to slap a button.
Or a rock.
Or Chris.
Everybody hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris.
See you guys
Bye.
next week.
I really have to use the bathroom.
All right, let's get out.